Everything's good, Drizzle.
I went to my nephew's birthday
Oh,
party. He turned 2.
oh, gross.
Oh,
Hey.
How'd it go? Was it good?
He opened some presents as best as a 2-year-old could do. I think he finally starts to make the connection that there are presents underneath the wrapping.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It's at that
I
point.
just made that I just made that connection myself.
Yeah.
Um, Drizzle, how about yourself? How's the hunt?
Busy.
Great.
Uh,
It's like we're married.
yeah.
Like, how was your
Sorry,
day? Busy. Okay.
I'm trying to fix my colors here.
Andrea, how are you doing?
I'm tired, but alive.
Tell us about it.
So, just a very long morning. I had to wake up at 5:30 this morning, and then drive my parents to the hospital. And
Lord.
yeah, my dad had a doctor's appointment this morning with a colorectal doctor, which was great. Not great news.
Oh no.
Apparently, some of the cancer is back, so that's not great. But
Oh, God.
yeah, so it's been a rough day.
Yeah, that is a rough day. That is a rough day. Ken, how are you doing?
I mean, I'm good. I also went to the medical center.
Oh, you did?
We saw the neurologist and got some drugs, and hopefully that'll help.
Yeah.
So, yay, life. Hey, point of advice: nobody
Yeah.
should ever become middle-aged. That's just
Never.
It's not a good. It's not a good look.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
You know, if you're getting older, there's a way of dealing with it. No, we just
If you're
take
getting
care
older,
of
just don't.
yourself, and you'll be all right.
If you're getting older, just don't.
Yeah, just
I think
don't.
getting older is fun. Getting older is fun. Then again, I'm not particularly old, but I think it's fun. We're starting this one off real well.
Yeah.
It's like, hey everybody, what's up? So I have cancer. Fuck. Well, I'm sorry to hear all the bad news. And I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. You guys are about to go into the shit, so it's gonna
Yeah.
get worse. In the imaginary world of the Red Writ and in the real world, the difference is you actually have traits and agency and all kinds. Actually, you have traits and agency in the real world too. Listen, you can be all you want to be.
Just not as much.
Just not as much. I think you can. How do I turn this around? Let's start. Hello everyone. This is the DREADIES, and we're fucking full of rainbows and smiles and energy is what we are. We want to thank you for showing up. And if you're watching this live, say something in the chat so we can make fun of you properly. Otherwise, follow, subscribe, and do all that bullshit. Media production is big old thank you to Couchfire Media. If you want to know where our sexy art comes from, that's where it comes from. Music is all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt, which is great music. You can check it out on social medias and all the stuff. Patreon. Hey, we have got a Patreon. Thank you to the Patreon people, Mr. Daniel Holker and Mr. Tim Roberts. Ooh, there they are. They're on the stream and everything. If you want to join the Patreon, do it. There's a whole lot of really cool stuff that I just loaded on there, and you can get access to everything the world. Turns out we know God, and we'll put one in for you if you join our Patreon. Our schedule is Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, or whenever I decide to stop eating and start the stream. Yeah, I've already said to like and subscribe. Hey, who's our sponsor tonight, Mr. Holker?
Okay. Today's sponsor is Song Lyrics. Mr. Arbiter, sir, have you ever listened to music on the phonograph or radio and heard words set to a melody accompanied by a variety of musical instruments? These words, when strung together, constitute song lyrics. Some lyrics are about relationships that ended badly. Some lyrics are about substances that singers often use in abundance. And still other lyrics are about the 1951 World Series, which pitted two-time defending champion New York Yankees against the New York Giants, who had won the National League pennant in a thrilling 3-game playoff with the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Thank you, Holger. Yeah, so thanks to our sponsor, Song Lyrics. If you want to be a sponsor, hey, check it out, Patreon, and Holger will make fun of you. Let's introduce the characters. Let's start with Ken.
Good. I'm ready. I'm so ready to start. I'm pretty sure I play a character in this game, the Red Writ. His name is Nord. He literally, clearly knows absolutely nothing about electricity, but he's got a good idea of how to lie when it comes to journalism. I mean, that's him in a nutshell.
Right. We'll go with Andrea.
Yeah, I am Andrea, and I play Leah Mizrahi, who is a former IDF soldier, and then after that, she was a Mossad agent who worked and eventually moved to Detroit, Michigan. For reasons unknown, probably because she's crazy. I mean, I feel like it's leaning more towards that at this point. So
maybe, who knows? We'll go Holger.
My character is Tony Cherniak. He is a Detroit native of Polish ethnicity. He was studying to be a priest, and then that fell through. And now he is a border guard, where he makes the lives of Canadians just a little less convenient.
Poor Canada. And Mr. Drizzle.
I'm Drizzle. I play Simon Vincent. He's the reluctant one out of these to believe that crazy stuff is going on. There's obviously a rational explanation to all of this.
For now.
Like any good hard-boiled detective, he doesn't believe anything.
You guys have a couple NPCs quasi with you. Who are they? We'll go with Mariah first. Who wants to do Mariah?
That would be my daughter, who is a 10 going on 20.
Right.
She's a real spitfire, and she certainly has a lot of opinions about things, which I suppose, given that I'm her mother, it's not that surprising. So.
And how about Rebecca Foster?
Rebecca is a lady of the night.
I feel like if anybody should be describing the ins and outs of Rebecca Foster, it should be whoever plays Nord in the fantasy that goes into that. I mean, I think there was a point where Simon might had a lot to talk about her, but Nord is intimately. She has crabs. I mean, seriously. And I don't think she likes having Simon as a next door neighbor, because he's always trying to blow up her apartment.
I didn't try to blow up anything.
Speaking of the recap. So, recapping this session was kind of interesting. Normally, I write like a big, long recap. I did not do that this time. I was thinking, does everyone want to listen to me for 2 or 3 minutes when you're about to listen to me for like 2.5 hours? Probably
I think we
not.
do. I do. I enjoy listening to you. You're fun to listen to. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Me, I can't stand, but you're great. You are great.
Spectacular.
Bust the recap out.
So to bust it out. So the recap that I wrote was, after a much needed rest, the group, you guys, reconvenes and investigates the strange belongings of the detectives, quote unquote. which prove more deadly than expected. Or, if not deadly, then definitely troublesome. Yeah, Leah attempted to put them on. Leah did put the detective's gloves on and paid a bit of a price. After that, the party knows that the time is running out for Gabriella, which, if you don't know who Gabriella is, that makes sense. She's the reason that they're in the game now. Gabriella is the plot of the game. She is one of the latest girls that has disappeared. Simon believes because of the 12 years murders. And Simon was hired by a detective, Idaway, to help find Gabriella. And that's actually what they've been doing this entire time. With only a few hours left before the solstice, they, meaning the party, split up, meaning Leah goes off by herself, to make up time and to run down clues. Yep, that's it. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That was a nice Drizzle style summary. It's boom, hit it and quit it. There you go. A little bit more of the recap just to dig in there, as you will. We spent a lot of time in Simon's apartment last episode, trying to get the gloves off of Leah. It turns out when you take them on or put them on or take them off. Did I say take them on or put them off?
Yes,
It's going to be a good session. It's going to be a really good session. There's an explosion. And you guys put together that there's some sort of special way, likely having to do with another gadget, another mystical type of gadget that actually can do this safely. Leah jury rigs a certain way. She kind of messes with her wrists a certain way, kind of like a Houdini effect, and by and large is able to get out of the gloves. But it's pretty clear, even still, that is a half measure. It's a jury rigged method that, while it can work, will still make you explode if you don't do well. Beyond that, Simon and Nord, and Leah to an extent, although she was much more into the gloves and investigating them. Simon and Nord investigated the dossiers and the rest of the belongings that the detectives had, for which they had several things. One was a lot of guns. Another one, which none of the bullets on the guns had those weird runes that you guys had found on Bell Island, which you had supposed that you might find. There was a dossier, and it had a whole lot of pictures of you guys from before this adventure began, specifically of Nord and then Simon, and then it moved on to Leah and various places around Detroit. And then there were a bunch of photos of the dead girls. Actually, they're not all women. The ones that you found were all women, but on the 12 years murders, they're not necessarily all women. But they all are younger and typically somehow into witchy stuff or the occult. One of note, one of these pictures, was of Gabriella DuPont. And it looks like she was running away from someone. So hopefully she's alive. Simon was able to put together that from that photo, because it was in a stairwell, and you could see outside sort of a phase of the moon, that it was within the last 2 days that this photo was taken. You split up. Leah broke and entered the Butte's household, which Annabelle Bütte lives in. There are people in the kitchen on the main floor. It's a big, huge, massive mansion. And she's sneaking around at present on the second floor in the back. And we'll see what she's trying to do and or does. There were other people in the house. She heard at least 3 people talking. There's the maid that she had seen, and who knows, there could be others. The rest of you decided to pay Leah's husband a visit at the Love Inn motel. You first stopped off at the Coffee Stain, diner and got food. Then you left and went to the Love Inn Motel. There was a ratty, old-looking dude who was running it. You paid him some cash, paid him some dough, and he told you where Marcus Mizrahi's room is. You get to the room, open the door. That's not exactly what you expect. It seems like something out of Friday the 13th. The room's completely black, cold, almost like a sound deprivation chamber of some sort. The shadows seem to move and suck up light. And Marcus did not look wholly himself or normal, but that did not prevent his daughter, Mariah, who's with you all, trying to run in the room. You three attempted to stop her. She was slippery. We rolled limbo, and you all kind of sort of got sucked into the room. But you have a hold of Mariah, so she's not wholly lost to the darkness. Marcus has looked up. He's got incredibly bloodshot eyes. Water or vomit or something had spewed from his mouth. At first glance, it looked like his eyes were glowing. Kind of hard to know. And he's saying some weird shit. That's pretty much where we finished. Okay. At this point, let's have a little tiny bit of table talk. So this would be players. Because it's a mystery investigation game. And we have a lot of information going on. A lot of information in the past. Many items. Many things that you found. Many things you've learned. Just to make sure the players are on the same page. Obviously, your characters know what your characters know. But I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to kind of discuss what are your goals right now? What are you all trying to sort of plan to do? What's the focus? A go.
Well,
Go. Yep.
Because it was to find out where the masquerade is, and so that's still kind of the ultimate because we've got to try to save Gabby. And we think that the masquerade may be where Gabby would be and maybe where the sacrifice could be, or it could even be a red herring, who knows. But
No.
that's kind of why we split up, was to find out that there's multiple places where it could be. It could be out on the island where that place by the lake, that weird hut place that smelled real weird.
In Bell Island?
Yeah.
Smelly hut?
Yeah. We know that Idaway was being tortured, so he's more than likely either dead or being held hostage somewhere because there was a picture of him. We got a picture from the captors trying to catch Gabriella, and she was shooting at them.
Yeah, she had a gun.
Yeah. A weird steampunk box.
A crossing that Tony had identified as somewhere, a known crossing to Canada. The Canada side, it was south, like just south and east of Bell Island. So it's actually more southern than you guys are. And there's like a John boat or all that stuff. There's also something else Simon. There's a few items you picked up. There's all the stuff from Grimwald's oddities and books. And I had something in my head and it just went out. Anyway, you guys all talk amongst yourselves.
About
What you know, what you should be doing.
oh,
Let me put you this way. You can do whatever you want. However, we're definitely at a point in the game to where you can actually die.
oh yeah,
So,
I mean,
so
Yeah. Nord definitely has quite a few thoughts going on in his head, and it's not all just about Rebecca Foster.
Speak them into existence.
her.
it is definitely there are a lot of connections that have gone on throughout this entire game. The connection between Cloyce and Leah's husband Malcolm, and their connection
Marcus.
to Annabelle, yeah, Marcus, and why Simon and Buck Hideaway are together, and why Detective Thomas and Marlowe have gone rogue, and certainly if given opportunity, if we survive this encounter with Marcus, I got some questions for Simon that I kind of want to, that maybe there's something going on that he knows about that we just, if we pick our brains, and even Tony, like, and Leah, if we kind of got together and answered a little bit about ourselves. We've been thrown in, going from place to place to place, but I feel like maybe we could just pull our information together and come up with some answers. Also, if he survives this, he is going to go to the fancy of all places, and have a conversation with a local patron there. But that is going to happen. And Adriana, like, who is she, and what do we know about her, and who knew her before? Like, who were her connections? Did they have any connection to the DuPonts, or I mean, I don't see how he fits, but William Tibbet seems to be in this somehow. So
Yeah. So there are definitely these NPCs that you've encountered before, they have their own stories. It's not necessarily all, breadcrumbs to the same cheese. Is that a thing? Breadcrumbs to the cheese? The two metaphors that I just smashed together. Well, it makes sense anyway, I think. Yeah, anyone else have anything to add? How about this? Hey, Andrea, what the fuck are you doing? Tell the players what you're doing.
Well, currently, my goal is simply to either get information out of Loretta Levan, or if that doesn't work, just kill her, to be honest. Because in this point, Leah's assumption is that she is a key player in whatever is going on, so she can either use her to get information, or simply disrupt the process, so to speak.
So, that's good stuff for you all to know. Anything else? I feel like I'm pulling teeth.
I will say, Leah's assumption as well is that even worst case scenario, Loretta and the people with her are not likely to call the police, because she very highly doubts that they'd want anyone searching the premises of the house with any kind of thoroughness.
And Holker, anything to add?
Tony needs, first and foremost, a gun that's not work issued.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We have those. We have that. We got a sawed-off shotgun.
And some replacement
we got a
bullets.
couple of Colts.
And some replacement bullets to make it look like, I'm serious.
We're gonna have a disclaimer. By the way,
this is all fiction.
This is all fiction, and we're gonna be real graphic and everything. So if you don't like that stuff, you should probably leave now. Yeah. Okay. Just to make sure you're all on the same page.
Trigger warning: graphic, gore, and mayhem and all that good stuff. Murder. There's probably going to be murder.
There will likely be murder. There already has been murder.
That's true.
So The ad break is at 45 seconds. Great. We got 45 seconds until it ends. Might as well talk about liking and subscribing and buying a book. Let's go after Holker.
So there's this book called DreadLore, and you should buy it right now. Don't wait. Go now. This is the best book
Well,
ever
no,
written.
wait until the stream is done, then go buy it.
No, buy it on the stream and then show us like a proof or receipt.
But how do you?
Comment.
That's very good.
Listen,
How do you get the book though?
it's really easy. While you're watching the stream, you can pull up your web browser and use Alt-Tab to go back and forth. On your browser, you can go to Amazon?
DreadLore.com.
DreadLore.com and buy it, and then you can tab back to Discord or no, Twitch, right?
Yeah, we're on Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can do that too. If you're using,
it's in the description.
Yeah. You really need to buy this book. It's amazing. It's the best thing. It is the best book, the singularly most best book ever written in the history of mankind.
And I mean, there have been things like the Iliad, and the Odyssey and stuff like that. Like this
What does he
tops
have
even
on
that.
you?
That's pretty high.
They were quoted prequels if you know how to read them.
So we're gonna start first with Leah. Leave the rest of you motherfuckers out in the cold. Leah, you're in the Butte's, Annabelle Butte's mansion, or I should say her parents' mansion.
Yeah.
You had snuck in here. You'd parked not terribly far away. The Butte's mansion is on a cul-de-sac in a very rich neighborhood, Grosse Pointe. This is a gated community. They watch for people and outsiders and all this stuff. You guys have encountered all of this kind of thing. I'm just reminding you. You parked your luxury vehicle. Which, what was that vehicle again?
It was a Buick, right? No, Corolla.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Tonight is a 1970s, I believe, Corolla, with the paint chipped off and a few fender benders. You parked it, I believe you said, around the corner, a little bit far away, as in within a quarter mile, and then went through everyone's backyards. Now, it's also around, I think we said 3 o'clock.
Yes.
I believe it's I have 2:30 written down. So right now it's 3. At the time it was 2:30. You were incredibly sneaky. As far as you know, you weren't seen. You may have been seen through surveillance, or maybe somebody just didn't say anything. But you got to the Butte's house. You shimmied, cat burglar style, up a fire escape. Got to the second floor. Actually, the third floor. Meandered around. There's one of the 2 stairwells, or stairways, I should say. It's not a stairwell. And heard the voices coming from the kitchen and the first floor, and had gotten to the second floor. You had avoided the maid, who seems to be humming to herself, and you went into this large, or this narrow yet large, library type room. It's a sitting room, smoking room, and it has books and stuff. It's kind of awful, really, now that I think about it, to have a smoking room in a library. But that's what they do. They're rich. In the back, there are these French doors. I think I may be confusing myself. No, these are not. The French doors are on the third floor. These are the kinds of doors that they're almost greenhouse windows, and you have to crank them to open them up. Like they open up like what are
Old
those?
school windows.
Yeah, old school windows, almost like dormers would, but they open up out. And they're large enough for someone to to get out of, but they're really, you can tell they're not made for that. You're a couple stories up, so we'll say 25-ish feet off the ground, 25-ish feet off the ground. And there's that heavily canopied, quarter-mile long backyard that is just completely overgrown with foliage, save for the concrete path. There's creepy statues here and there. And despite it being 3 p.m. and still daylight, out here it looks twilight. It's very quiet, insulated. And you know that backyard backs up to a graveyard on a hill, Bald Hill Cemetery, and it's kind of just in the boonies. That's where you are. I believe you'd taken a paperweight, which is a human skull. I'm going to say that has been cast. It has like some metal glaze on it, so sort of this brassy human skull, pretty weighty.
So,
And you have it in your hand.
so about that, I would like to use a pip too. I thought about it, like shortly after the game ended last night, and I would like to use a pip to have when the cleaning lady, went past me after she almost, saw me or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to use a pip to have taken my pistol and hit her on the back of the head to knock her out.
Okay. So generally a
Is
pip
that too much for a pip?
that's going to be too much for a pip, because
Okay.
it literally changes the story. And it's something that you absolutely could fail. Like that could go tits up really fast. Essentially what we'd have to do is just redo that scene and say that, okay, now we're rewinding. Normally that's beyond a pip. I'm going to allow you to do this though. That wasn't a particularly dangerous scene. I remember you just had a bid on it. And at this point you really haven't pushed the story too much forward. A pip will work on this. So yeah, we'll rewind. We'll say that maybe instead you had gone into that room, the library room first. You'd seen all that stuff. You'd open up the window, and maybe as you're sitting there with the skull, you sit it down, or you still have it. It's up to you. And you go back out and you hear the cleaning lady coming. So that's where we'll actually start.
Okay.
Yeah, so the action's on you. You hear her coming down the hallway, pushing her little cart, humming happily to herself, completely unaware that you're there. You have the skull in your hand, we'll say. Unless you want
Okay.
to set it down. It's up to you.
I will set it down and then get my pistol out.
Yep.
And basically get right in as far into the corner from where she's coming, around as I can to where I'm unnoticeable.
What do you bid for this?
For this, I will bid. Let's see. Which one do I have here? I will bid. Would cruel work for this one?
Yeah, that'll work. That's pretty apt. Is this a flaw?
It is, yes.
Okay. Yeah. You bid cruel. You're going to have to throw down on it.
Okay.
And you're attempting to hit her on the back of the head and I'm assuming knock her out, right?
Yes. That is
Okay,
indeed.
so this will be Braun or Grace, either one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would make the argument for Grace because
Yep.
you can hit somebody on the back of the head as hard as you want, and you won't necessarily knock them out unless you hit the
Right.
right spot.
So Grace is fine. I'm also going to give you a chaos die. So you get a
Okay.
D6
D6.
because this is a targeted attack.
And my goal is to not roll a 1 on that.
Yeah, you don't want a 1 on that. That will have a mishap. Threshold to knock her out is going to be 2.
And sometimes after you hit someone on the head, someone else hits them on the head and almost kills them.
There is that.
Simon, you
Okay,
get a
yeah.
pip for the recall. Poor Grimwald.
So that is indeed 2.
Okay, that's Limbo. And the mishap was not a 1, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so Limbo, so you need to roll your damage. This weapon, when you fire it, it does, I think, 2d4 plus 1. Just hitting someone with it, it's going to be considered a medium weapon. Or wait, is this a Derringer, or is it, what is it?
This is the regular, like the knife.
Okay, so it'll be 1d4 plus 1.
Okay.
So it's going to act as a
And I
medium
think
weapon.
I will go ahead and use a violence thing to re-roll one of these real quick, just to see
Okay.
if I can make that a clean success.
Yeah, that's always better.
Same number. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna try 3 more time.
Feed me your resources.
There we go. Okay, so now
So,
that's 3
3.
successes.
All right,
Yep.
so you have a clean success. You hit her cleanly. Roll your damage. It's a d4 plus 1.
D4 plus
Yep.
1. Okay.
And
I don't want to hurt her too much, so that's actually just a 2.
okay, and then you get the extra damage because you beat it by 1. So it's 3 damage is what you deal. Did we give her a name? Does she need a name?
No.
The
I don't wanna
maid.
kill her. I mean,
The Butte's maid. What's a good Spanish name? Hispanic name.
Isabella.
My
Isabella.
family is Vasquez Villa, so you could do Vasquez, like
Isabella?
Maria Vasquez.
Isabella Vasquez. Yeah, I don't want to do Maria because we already have one. We have a Mariah. So Isabella Vasquez, you club her in the back of the head. Initial groins just said something. Initial groins? What the hell?
Yeah, they're
Are they promoing?
Yeah, and I can't
That's whatever.
remember how to get rid of
Let's
it.
see. The price is lower than any competitor. Any competitor. Oh my god. Well, initial groins. If you're here, then say something else. If you're not here, if you just rolled on the stream to promo your shit, 1, I applaud you for your brazen attitude. 2, you can go fuck yourself. But if you're actually going to hang out and watch us, then I retract that and say something. Otherwise, you can go fuck yourself. All right. Yeah, you club
Yes.
Isabella Vasquez on the back of the head, right in the base of the neck with 3 damage. As clean success. You've done this many times before. She doesn't die. But you do hear her go, and kind of call out a little bit. Not much, but sort of like, expulsion of breath. And she crumples to the floor like a sack of potatoes.
So I move in quickly as soon as I hit her on the back of the head to catch her.
Yeah, you get her.
And I lightly set her down. And then I look in her cart to see if she has any disposable gloves.
Yeah.
All right, so I grab. So I
She's got cleaning supplies and everything.
Yep. I quickly grab a pair of the disposable gloves, and I put them on.
She'll also have those, since it's the 80s, those thin Walkman headphones on, and like it's corded, tied to. Is a Walkman? We had cassette Walkmans in '82, right? Do we have that? Well, she has the new version, so it's there. Boom.
Yeah.
There's magic in this game. There's also a Walkman. So she's got the Walkman going on. And it'll be like, Michael Jackson playing.
So what I do is after I get the gloves on, I push her cart to in front of the bookshelf.
Okay. Are you near the hallway or are you near the window?
Near the
So she's in the hallway. She's in the hallway, and it's a very wide hallway and such.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause you really quick. Yeah. Also, the Walkman was 1979. Boom. Ken, I told you this is gonna happen. What's your intention here?
My intention here, like in this part, I'm setting it up to make it look like I want her when she wakes up to not realize that somebody knocked her out. So I'm setting her up to basically look like something fell and hit her on the head when she was clean.
All right. describe how that is, and you'll need to bid to do it.
Okay. So what I'm planning to do is I'm moving her cart in front of a shelf that has a heavy-looking object near the top of it, and then I will set her body near that with, let's say, a feather duster in her hand, and then I will take that heavy object off the shelf and put it on the floor.
What's the object?
I don't know. Let's say they put some decorative vase on the top shelf or something like that.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Cut scene, it's like 30 minutes later, she wakes up. I never dust. Yeah. So you position her, you're sitting there, like you put her leg just so, and you put the feather duster in her hand and kind of roll the vase around. You're like, that looks great.
And you said I needed to roll for a bid for this?
You'll just need a bid. Yeah.
Okay,
Bid
so a bid for this, I will bid time served.
Okay.
Because I guess during my career I've set up scenes before.
Yeah. As you bid time served, this looks pretty good. It seems like, how would it have happened? Maybe someone's not going to think about it. Maybe they would, but they're
my ability.
Yeah, they're really rich, kind of awful people, as far as you're aware. So maybe they would actually care more that the vase is not broken. Yeah, they're good people. Yeah. So this takes you a few minutes. What are you doing?
Now that I've done with that, I will now go back to the window with the paperweight, and continue what I was going to do before, which was throw the paperweight at the nearest statue or fountain or whatever's close to the house that I could actually hit.
What do you bid?
For this, I will bid.
You may have actually already bidded, but I don't know if you did.
I might have, but I don't remember. I think I was getting ready to, but then you were like, "Okay, no, this will take too long to get ready." So for this one, I will bid athletic, my physicality. Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. The only throwdown will be a mishap die.
Okay.
It's a called shot. Yeah, kind of. It's more, this could just go bad.
Okay.
So you're gonna hit it. It's just, do you roll a 1 on the mishap die?
It's not a 1.
Okay. As you take off one of the heads with a head. It's like a metal head. You launch at a statue head, and it explodes the half the face. You're gonna be Leah Mizrahi, destroyer of statues. This is not the only statue you've defaced. As the other half of the head rolls off, ding, ding, ding. As that happens, you hear expectantly, as you had expected, someone go, "What was that?" And then silverware, that sound that silverware makes when you hit a table, blank. And you hear people, or perhaps 1-2 people, moving downstairs towards the backyard. However, as you maybe look over your shoulder, hearing that, and then turn back around to perhaps watch, you also notice something else. In the distance, toward where the fountain is, there's a little bit of a fog back here. There always is. Where the fountain is in the backyard, and the weird statue with the very long, shallow bowl. If you remember that.
Yeah.
Tony kept on sticking his finger in, and I think you did too.
I did. I took a drink. I actually licked the water from it. Yeah.
Yeah. You notice 3 figures. They look like just from the body shape, because they're in the fog, so you can't see their features. It looks like they have on dresses, so perhaps they're women. By their build, maybe teenage girls. Sort of listlessly standing And if you had to take a guess, it looks like they're maybe facing you, but it's difficult to tell. And then you notice the statue that you just marred is bleeding out of its neck. May make a sanity roll.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so that would be a 1 success.
With 1 success, you find yourself, however you feel this cold sweat beat it up. You know, you can feel it on your chest and underarms and all this stuff. Perhaps your breathing rate it heightens as you shake your head, wipe your eyes, and there's no blood on the statue. And as you look up to see where the girls were, they're not there anymore. It's about that time that you hear of downstairs, the door open up, and someone is coming out. What are you doing?
At this point, I am starting to, now that I've confirmed that people are actually going out there, I'm starting to head down the stairs.
So you turn around, not waiting to see who and what's coming out. You turn and, quietly, it's all carpeted, quietly move towards the stairway, walking over the maids, Isabella Vasquez's body, unconscious. You make it to the stairs where the banister is. And in the same fashion, it moves around this way to the first floor. You still hear some voices. In fact, they're a little bit heightened. Not nervous per se, but hey, what was that sound? Heightened. So there are still people downstairs.
Okay. I'm still moving downstairs. Slowly.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to be cautious about it. But
what do you bet?
I'm moving, huh? What do I bet?
What do you bet? I'm assuming to be very stealthy.
Let's say for this one, steadfast.
I'll make you throw down on this one.
Okay.
It's a heightened situation. There's multiple people.
So probably Grace for this.
I think Grace is a perfect aspect to roll for this. And
so that would be a total of 3 successes.
Give me 1 second. That's the wrong person.
Huh?
You say 3?
Yes.
As you're going down rather quietly, one of those annoying things happens where, there's pictures on the walls and stuff. And like with those kinds of frames, they're really wide and ornate and more expensive than the paintings themselves. Hi! Hello!
We have a visitor. My grandmother is here, and she wanted
Grandma.
to see what this is all about. You can either hear me. You can either hear me or the way this is set up. Because if I let them hear you,
it's echoey.
There's going to be an echo. Yeah. So you can talk here. Now you talk.
Hello. I'm well. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Bien, muy bien.
You're very good. She's muy bien.
Oh, muy bien. Oh, indeed. I only speak French. ¿Cómo ça va? How do I say how are you in Spanish? Oh my gosh.
¿Cómo está ustedes?
¿Cómo está ustedes?
Bien.
She said perfectamente bien.
Hey, good. Can I say bene or is that Italian?
It's nada más. Go ahead.
Nada más queríamos un poquitico de lo que estaba aquí en este lugar, en este, ¿cómo se llama? De la casa.
Yeah.
Así que no podemos No, let's see. Bueno, si quiero que
She
como-
wants. What do you want?
well, I'm really because I see what
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Look at all the colors. It's beautiful, and
exactly.
the scene that we're interrupting.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Is right between Leah, which is this character, and she's in this place. She's broken into this house right here.
No me moleste.
Yeah.
No, no.
Okay.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, yeah.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.
Good evening.
Bye.
Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
That was pretty awesome. Indeed. And that's your grandmother, yeah? I forgot. I forgot it was all in Spanish. I was like, derp. Dude, my Spanish is awful. God, I need to learn Spanish.
My Spanish is I can understand some stuff.
Yeah, well, she speaks very clearly. I could understand the words, but I didn't understand their meaning mostly because I don't have it. Yeah.
She's got a little dementia, so like what she said was a little obtuse.
A little wild. Yeah.
But
we'd probably get along.
She wanted to see what this was about, and I told her that if she wanted to come in, she could
of
come
course
in and say hello.
Of course, she can always come in,
and
she can play if she wants.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think she should she'd be the smart one. Anyway,
all right. So, Leah, you had attempted to go downstairs. Stealthiness, steadfast is what you bid. As you go down with measured steps, you got 3 successes. There's all these paintings and such, frames and whatnot on the walls, and we'll even say, roll me a d4. I don't have any dice on me, so you're gonna be rolling. Actually, I don't want you to roll it. Hulk or roll it. Since they're waiting, we'll have them roll stuff.
D4, you say?
Yep, roll a d4.
All right. That's a 2.
This is just me sabotaging myself. So with a 2, you notice on the walls it's like, there'll be like a deer head and that kind of stuff, right? All kinds of things that people that collect things have. But there's also a couple interesting things. 2 weapons. One of them is a cavalry sword. Maybe it looks like it's from like the 1800s, like from like Custer's Charge, that kind of thing. So it's a Sheba. Your Sheba is up there. And also you see next to it on this little placard, a pearl-handled pistol that looks like it has a shot in it. I mean, as in like you could have 1 bullet, and it'll have the wheel gun thing. What is it? Like the old school,
like an actual a real flintlock thing.
Yeah, which I think would be kind of cool. Anyway, and they both look real. Regardless, as you're walking down, something rather annoying happens, which is your shoulder happens to rub up against one of the frames, and just makes a slight scuffle sound. You pause, being steadfast, knowing that while that sound was not very loud, someone who has keen hearing or is, stoned or paranoid or something may have heard it. As you kind of are paused in the open on this stairwell, it's winding around, or the stairway as it's winding around the big, thick fucking banister you could slide down, in fact. It's all wood and lustrous and such. And you can just barely see down into the main sitting room where there's a hearth. Oh, that's very good. That picture's excellent. You can just see the corner of where the kitchen starts, off to your left, on down the stairs, and then around that large hallway would be up where the back is. In the sitting room, you can see, because the ceiling is blocking a lot of your view, 2 legs of someone sitting, looks like a woman, sitting in a large back chair. What catches your eye is the trim on her dress. It's almost like a wedding dress. It's this white and sort of with a yellowish hue, and there's jewels all around the dress and such. Her shoes are flat bottomed, but they're also bejeweled and such, and have like little tassels and whatnot.
Okay.
Beyond that, the world is going. You still hear some chopping from the kitchen, someone moving about in there, and then someone moving about in the backyard. Actions on you.
Okay. Yeah. So I will pause for a second just to see if I hear anybody happen to have noticed, the sound from my shoulder brushing the window frame.
As you pause there for a few moments, you see, or you hear, the voices kind of die down, but there's not really much movement. As whoever's sitting in that chair, they're not moving. This would be a time that you could bid or something like that, but that's what you hear. They stop talking though.
Let's see. I am going to bid my flaw, scene shit, to basically, I don't know, use my paranoia to my advantage, my trauma to my advantage,
Mm-hmm.
and see if I can, ferret out if I've been made or not.
As sitting there, you bid your trauma.
Yeah, scene shit.
Scene shit as again the sweat. You can hear your own heartbeat as you're trying to measure your breathing out the back, through the mouth really slowly, as you realize the person in the chair and whoever's in the kitchen likely are looking at each other. The air is thick with anticipation. Either they've heard something or their suspicions are up. You also note at this point, there's no sound coming from the backyard. Perhaps the door's been shut, and that's why. But the person hasn't come back. As there's this maybe 5 seconds of just silence, and it gets more and more and more awkward. You realize, having bid this flaw, they know something's up. They're looking. They probably didn't hear you, but they're definitely aware something's going on, or they think there is. What you do?
Shit. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, at this point, Leah's probably honestly going to assume that that it's bad enough that she's probably not going to be able to make a clean break from this. So at this point, Leah will, and she's seen Miss Levan once at this point, so she'll try and guesstimate how much she weighs. Let's say between like 125, 130-ish.
She probably weighs. Yeah, she's around 5'8", I believe, and is in her 50s. She's about 140, 150 pounds. You could guess.
Okay. So yeah. So at this point, she'll reach into her pocket and pull out the tube of the powdered nightshade, and pour about what she thinks is going to be right into her palm, And yeah, and she's still wearing the gloves, by the way. I will.
As you mean the gloves she got from from
The
Vasquez?
maid. Yeah.
As you're doing this, you're measuring it out. You hear utensils put down or picked up, perhaps,
Mhm.
from the kitchen. And there's breathing. Someone's moving, you can hear. The legs that you can still see, the weight shifted a little bit, and you see whoever that is kind of slowly getting up.
Gotcha.
You see maybe the hand come down. The hand it's an older person, and although with good skin, but the nails are very long, sharp looking.
Cool. That's not good. Leah will focus on that for a second, but try not to think too hard about it because it kind of creeps her out.
You hear
So at this
beads.
point,
Shh.
anyway, so she'll cleanse her the fist that she poured the powder into real tight, and then put the tube, close the tube back up and put it back in her pocket. And at this point, she'll reach around for the revolver with the rune bullets in them, and
You have that.
and have it out basically in that classic position.
Mhm.
And then she'll go ahead and she'll still be very try and be as quiet as possible, but she's
Yeah,
not
you have steadfast
trying to
bid.
be, yeah. So she's not trying to be. She's moving a little faster than she was because again at this point she kind of figures she's been made already. So she's going to head probably directly to the middle point between the two, and just walk straight into the room.
Make a reaction roll as you do this. This will be wits. So your
Okay.
action die and wits.
Dun dun dun.
Da, da, da.
So that's 2 successes.
Let's do a fate roll. Who wants to be fortune? Who wants to be false fortune?
I'll be one. I'll be fortune.
Which one you doing? Okay. Drizzle is fortune.
I'll be the other guy.
And
or
you're
the other
false
person.
fortune. Okay. So here are the stakes. Fortune. The person who went outside, out back, who would be at your back at this point, has not returned in the house. False fortune. They did return, and you have your back to them. Although you will realize they're behind you because you got 2 successes. But that's the fate roll. Roll it.
But I got an 86.
Oh, you beat me. I got a 37.
All right, Leah, as you steadfastly move down in go mode, maybe you've gotten your breath completely under control. Eyes, vision focused. Looking over your shoulder just briefly, slicing the pie, making sure there's no one behind you. With your wits of 2, you notice the door has been closed, and you do see a person outside. Their back is to you. They're about a stone's throw away from the doorway, investigating the statue. A large person, maybe 6'3", 6'4". They look like a cab driver, except a really nice, nicely dressed cab driver, like for rich people, or perhaps a butler. It's all black, nice suit top, a little caddy hat, all black, or maybe a navy, and an African American man looking around over there. You'll note too, just because you got 2 successes, they have some noticeable rings on their fingers. As you come back around and get to the central point, first thing you see to the left in the kitchen is your Corey, which is Loretta Levan. She's in a nice gown, a going out gown, probably for something like going to the hideaway. She has a knife, a big cleaver in her hand, and there's all this meat on the table. The big buffet style table. Glorious red meat of perhaps you don't really know what kind of animal it is. Perhaps a goat. But you see like half the carcass there. She's been cleaning it. And it's this odd scene of she's in this beautiful gown cleaning an animal. There's something just strange as she looks up with a look of surprise that perhaps gives you an odd pleasure. And then your brain susses out what you see on the right in the sitting room. As you quickly look, you see a woman, elderly woman. She's not bent over or anything, as in like she's standing up straight, but she's ageless, withered and such. When I say ageless, it's hard to tell how old she is. She's just old. And she's wearing this almost tribal looking gown. Like she's going to a costume party is maybe the immediate thing. Perhaps she reads palms. Beads all over the place. She's got these gnarly talon-like fingernails. She is motionless. She's holding a cane next to her side. Really nice, ivory looking. And she's staring holes through you. Her eyes are incredibly calm. Indeed, that is who she is. Incredibly calm. Dark eyes. It's difficult to see any color at all in them. And it's rather unnerving, her gaze. There's a man on the far side next to the hearth and the fire that's going. He's uncomfortably close to it. He's wearing a tuxedo. Very thin man. Think like Professor Lupin from Harry Potter is essentially what he looks like. He's got a little monocle. And he's got a doctor's bag, like a big black doctor's bag. That's the scene you're in. You have surprised most of these people. The action's on you.
So immediately after she's done that quick assessment, Leah will look directly at Loretta. Well, good evening, Miss Levan. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance again.
What in the fuck are you doing in the house? She's holding the knife, but it's almost like she doesn't realize she has a knife or something. Like she's pointing at you with it, but almost like it's just her hand. What are you doing here?
You see, I've learned a few things over the last couple of days. It's quite fascinating. I'm not going to bug you with the details, but the simple fact of the matter is I'm here to find some answers out, and you're going to tell me everything I wish to know. And if you won't behave yourselves, you'll live past the night. Otherwise, you're not going to.
She looks at you with this astonishment, and for a moment, there's a panic that crosses her face as she sees the gun and you're standing there. And then you see the shit-eating just face that you recognize. Her face becomes a big shit-eating face as she looks over your shoulder and goes, Edwin, call the police on this filth.
Go right ahead. I'm sure they'd love to have a look around the property.
As you see the doctor-looking dude, you notice movement as he stands up and, like, leaving his bag, walks around, not between you and the older woman, but around the older woman, and kind of scooch, trying to get around you and into a hallway where there's a phone, like a cord phone.
And at that point, Leah will literally snap and shoot him in the kneecap.
What do you bid?
I bid. Calloused.
Yeah, roll damage because you're going to hit him, and you get a mishap die, of course.
Yes. Okay.
So
So
just
let's
roll
see.
the
Sorry.
damage first.
I've been clenching my right hand this whole time, like mimicking holding the power.
That's right.
Okay. So all right. So that's going to be a mishap die. So I'll roll that first.
Yep.
Okay. So that is not a 1. That is in
Nice.
fact a 4.
So that's plus 1.
And
You
then-
guys will get to play. It's gonna happen.
All right, so it's 2d4. Oh, okay. Plus 1. So that's going to be 7 damage.
Yeah. And are you using the fancy bullets?
Yeah, these are the rune rounds. Yes.
All right. So that'd be 2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Good to know.
So you did 8.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna give him. Let's see. Threshold is. Oh wow. I never thought about that. How many successes did you get? You didn't get any. You got 1 because you just hit
Yeah.
him. No, it makes sense. 8. Yep. As you quickly turn, shoot this dude in the knee. You have seen gore in your time. You've seen bullet wounds and all these things, and as of late, you've seen some gore. When this man's knee gets hit with this bullet, one, just like when you shot the other bullets, in the distance, it almost sounds like someone's whispering a spell.
Mahala
Echoing.
Rebio, right?
Yeah, echoing. You get a pip for that. Well done. Echoing in the sky. As was that thunder? Was it an earthquake? Did something shake? As his knee gets hit, it fucking explodes in blood. Just he folds in half at the leg. Parts of his leg just are gone. You have seen horrible damage in your time in the military. He's probably going to lose that leg. Whatever just happened, like it's like you shot him with a fucking cannon. As his leg bends the wrong way, he just looks down, screaming at the top of his lungs, bloody fucking murder, as he hits the ground and is out of his mind and quickly passes out. You see the color bleeding from his face. Blood is going everywhere into the floor. Loretta Levan screams, runs for the door off this way, the side door, and is trying to get out of sight. And in fact, does as it's her turn, unless you spend cunning to go first. The old woman stands there absolutely motionless. Do you spend cunning?
Yeah.
All right, cunning, it's your turn. What do you do?
Oh. I will do I see can I tell obviously which door Loretta's trying to run through?
You didn't see this door when you came in. It's probably some sort of hallway that goes into the back. When you guys were first in the Butte's house, it's the place that she came from. So it's sort of a hallway that goes behind the kitchen. There's some door back there. As far as you're aware, it's not to the outside because you didn't see a door that went to the outside.
Okay. So I will go ahead and I'll draw up. I'll draw up on Loretta, and
She's running.
yeah, no.
You're
I will
interrupting
yell
her
as-
action.
Yeah, I will yell as loudly as I can. I don't miss. If you want to live, you better halt.
All right, what do you bid to make her stop? And you can throw down on it.
I'm gonna bid bloody.
That makes sense, as you were far enough away to where you didn't get blood splatter, but you're obviously bloody.
Yeah. So let's see. Would that be mind? I mean, they're the same, but that would be mind or wits.
I think either one. Either
Okay.
one makes sense. You're commanding her, so.
I say 9 just because it's more of like a force of will kind of thing at this point.
Yep.
But-
I'll tell you the threshold here in just a second. I
Okay.
just need to look her up. Son of a bitch. Ken, will you throw down a D10? And Drizzle, will you throw down a D6? And tell me what you get. So that's 1. So 3.
3.
How much? Okay, so nothing. So threshold is 3.
Okay. So I have 2 successes on the 1. I will re-roll with an expression and try and get this other one up. Would learning work for this?
How would it work?
I'm learning what her responses to things are.
I think that could work. I think also you could say you've gone through training. You have
Okay.
learned how to command people in situations. So yeah, that'll work.
Aha! Yes. So that's 4 successes now.
All right, clean success. As she stops, the camera is right down the barrel of your gun on her. As the focus pulls onto her face, she looks scared. Switching to the Love in Moto. You guys die. Going back to Leah. No, I'm kidding. All right. So,
I'll be right back.
yep. So, you all just have had an interesting experience. You were in the corridor. The lights were shutting off, coming towards you. The door to Marcus's room, I believe it was number 13, was open. Completely darkness in there, or almost complete darkness. Think of Sin City if you've seen Sin City. High contrast. Windows, shades, blackout windows, or blackout shades are drawn. You can just see the edge of them. And you can see Marcus there. As Mariah has just run in, she slipped through a couple of your fingers as you all kind of tackle her on the ground and find yourself as you look up feeling pulled into the room as the door tries to shut. Which one of you is in the door jam preventing that?
I thought all 3 of us had fallen into the half in the room and half out.
All right, so who does the door hit?
I'll let the door hit me.
All right, as the door slams into your back, the knob gets you right in the fucking kidney. Just boom. Which feels great. You got the leather jacket. It still hurts like a bitch. As Mariah is in your arms, Nord is right next to you, kind of holding on to, like you've got, Simon, you've got like her legs. Nord's got like her arms. And Tony, you'll be in there too, kind of like bunched up against the door jam with these two. So you see Marcus there staring at you, leering, his head kind of like going back and forth, almost like in a haunt or something, like he's trying to freak you out, perhaps. Perhaps there's a moment of, is this guy for real? And then you see again this viscous water that smells of brine in the ocean just pour out of his mouth onto the floor with a splash. As he looks up, the action is on you all.
I'm going to try to pull Mariah out of the room. Pull back and get to...
We're going to say she's struggling. In an uncharacteristic show of emotion. Then again, you guys haven't seen her react to her dad. She's not crying per se. We'll say all of you get a reaction roll. This will be wits or mind.
I have 2 successes.
1.
2 successes.
1 success.
So, threshold for this is 1. So limbo. Simon will say for you, you know she wants to get to her dad, but she's struggling. Perhaps she's scared or something. For Tony and Nord, maybe because you have a little bit more objectivity, who knows why. It dawns on you what her deal is. Mariah has shown herself to be a very precocious child. You know she's 11. But she comes off like she's a lot older, a lot more mature, a lot smarter. Makes sense because of her mother. You know, her mother and she have an interesting relationship. But she's a little girl. And she has seen some seriously crazy shit. The same kind of shit. Not all of it, but the same kind of shit you guys have seen. And she sees her dad now. Perhaps the memory comes back to you guys. Was Mariah kidding? Was she joking? Was she lying? Was she just blocking out that she had experienced the transit bus disappearing, the lightning, the voices, the violence that you guys have seen? She wants to get her to her dad. It's obvious, as she is struggling to get away from you guys to get to her father. And if you want to hold on to her, you're gonna have to throw down and bid. Or you could always bid her.
I would like to bid an ability. Is that a thing?
Yeah. Well, you bid. The abilities are traits, so you just be bidding that. If you want to activate the ability, you have to bid something to activate it as well.
Well, I don't have a any kind of. It's not upgraded. It's just a regular ability.
Oh, sure.
So to activate it, should I activate it and then because I could bid underdog, and then activate my ability counterpoint, and then say something to her.
Yeah, that's how it would work.
Mariah, does your father usually puke water out his mouth? I mean, do you think
He's just sick. He's just sick. He needs help. As you see him leering at you.
Is he normally like this? Is this normal for him?
She says, "Daddy," and reaches out towards him.
You don't want to touch him. You might get sick too. You might catch this.
And throw down. Simon, you're holding on to her. You're a lot stronger than she is. But she's wriggling and wily.
That's I only have 1 success on this.
As she is listening to you, but you can tell she's not particularly convinced. She wants to get to her dad, but she's not struggling as much.
Yeah. Is it it's just because there's no bonus, it's just 2 dice, correct?
Correct. Your action die and likely your mind or your wits.
Yeah.
Still player turn.
I will. Well, okay. I'll bid rigid to start to pull her back. Is that?
Yeah, you are stronger than her. Like I said, you don't need to throw down. As you got her and you're pulling her back, she's fighting against you, but not as hard as she was before. What Nord said did get through to her. She's just kind of overtaken with her emotions. Tony.
Tony will attempt to aid Simon.
How do you do it?
Huh?
How do you do
Grabbing the other arm.
it? Tony puts the arm behind her back like a little chicken wing. What do you bid?
Border guard.
We've covered this before. You've separated many families from their children, so you know exactly how to twist. And she goes, ah! And she goes, dang it, Tony! And looks at you with the look you actually know from Mariah. It kind of breaks her out of the emotion for a second, and she looks at you, and you can tell she's probably going to get you back somehow. World action. The room becomes cold. You guys are in the door jam as the door, Simon, opens up as though someone's on the opposite side, pulling it open really fast. And then you hear the whooshing sound as it comes to shut on you, on all of you. This would be a reaction roll. Since Simon, you're the one getting the door, you're the one that rolls the reaction roll. If you two want to aid Simon, then you can aid him.
Is it Grace? Since I'm trying to dodge.
Grace or Braun. If you're trying to just dodge out of the way, then it'd be Grace. If you're trying to brace the door or brace against the door, it'd be Braun. The good thing about bracing against the door is it doesn't slam on your two friends and trap them inside.
Yeah. Then I will do Braun.
I mean, it just sort of passes the buck to someone else to do is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
They could do Grace as well.
Yeah.
All right. What are you aiding him with?
Sleight of hand. You know, he's trying to brace, and I'm gonna I do a switch up with Mariah so I could grab her, so it would free him up a little bit.
Sure. What's the aspect die you give him?
Grace.
And what's the die type?
It's a D8.
All right, you get a D8, and Tony, are you gonna aid?
Yes.
How do you do it?
Like, subscribe, and share. You too can be a DreadLore patron, or see all of our digital content on Apple, iTunes, Amazon, all of the evil big corporations that control our lives on a daily basis. Please like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends and family, and you too can be indoctrinated into the world of DreadLore.
I will aid.
Yep. What do you bid?
Lord, and I will bid focus, which is burning.
Yep. What aspect die do you give him? And when I say that, I mean what die type do you give him?
A D6.
All right,
That would be
roll that
mine.
biatch. The threshold to avoid getting ruckused by this door is 4.
Jeez. Then I only have 3.
Uh-oh.
Can I give him an expression? Like, I really don't want to be a lift. I can't help him with a proficiency.
No. You can only do you can only spend proficiencies for others if it's a fate roll. Decisions. All right, as the door slams, you see Nord grab Mariah out of your hands as as Simon, you brace against the door, but it's one of those things where your arms don't get up fast enough. As it slams you in the face, you hear the as you know your nose might be broken as blood just spills down your face. Behind you is Tony bracing against the door too, so the door does not shut on you all, but it does slam into your fucking face. You will take 4 damage. Biff. So that's the world action. Marcus goes. As he takes a step or 2 forward. For anyone looking, is anyone looking at Marcus?
I think we're all generally.
Well, I wouldn't be because I'm looking at a door that just hit me in the face.
That's right. Right. So Simon's not looking. Tony, are you looking? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nord
Tony,
is-
are you looking?
No.
All right.
Nord is
So-
definitely looking.
Nord, as you peek over your shoulder, you see him move way too quickly. He
Oh,
moves
fuck.
like an insect as he shuffles forward really fast. So fast, you see the bed sheets move. And there's this foul, this putrid smell, like dead fish that wafts up in your face. You may make a sanity roll.
Nah.
As he reaches out with his hand that seems to elongate towards you and grab. Which one? Leah, will you roll me a d6? And the result will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2 is on Tony, 3, 4 is on Simon, 5, 6 is on Nord.
Yes, that's a 4.
Can I?
2, 3, 4. Simon, you feel this bony hand grab onto your shoulder blade and try to dig in. You get a reaction roll. What'd you get? Brawn, Grace
Brown.
would work. Or mind, actually. Nord, what'd you get?
Can I use something
Oh yeah.
like an ability or something to?
Yeah, you can use it's just like throwing down. In fact, it is throwing down just without needing to bid something to do it.
Sure. Can I use kettle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as you
Get
bid kettle, how does this not freak Nord out? Does he blink? Like what? What the fuck?
Well,
You move
Oh,
fast.
actually, no. I'm gonna bid bleak. It's my flaw.
Dude
Is bleak. How's that?
Yeah,
that
I dig it.
That fits the narrative. He's bleak.
dig it.
Bleak. He's just nothing phases him for some reason. He is
That's right.
unfazable.
As you see this happen, maybe there's even like a little bit of a chuckle. What is your derangements? What are your derangements?
I just have psychosis.
Yeah, maybe you hear someone chuckle, and then you realize it was you. As Tony
Sounds
and
like me.
Simon, you hear Nord kind of chuckling behind you, like like this nervous chuckle. When you look at him, he looks fine though. Simon, what'd you get?
I only got one success.
Uh oh, Simon. What are you doing, Simon?
Well, I only got one success, so evidently I'm probably failing because I'm out of proficiencies. I used them all.
Ah.
I can't re-roll anymore.
Indeed. Indeed. That moment it all goes bad. All right. Anyone aiding Simon?
Can I aid him?
Because right now
with
he's getting
a,
grabbed.
with
Threshold is
vagabond?
2. Yes, you can. Threshold is 2. So you can give him an aspect. Since this is a new round, you can give him any aspect you want.
Well, if I give him vagabond, I mean I've run from all sorts of people and groups of people, and you don't want your buddies to get caught either.
Right.
So I'll give him a gray sty, which is a D8.
Yep. So you get a D8 on that.
Nope.
Remember, you also have Ninja Gear
Let me see if I.
for your extra dice.
I will bid my revolver. So
Yeah.
as he goes to grab a hold of me, I reach into my pocket and grab my gun.
Maybe swing it around. You're not holding on to Mariah right now. Nord has her, so your hands are free.
So I'll bid the trade on it as well. Yeah, well, my revolver's pure shit today because both of the dice I rolled were ones.
All right.
So
All right.
I'm still just one success.
Awesome. It's good. Leah, will you roll for your hubby? You roll me a d4.
That's a 1.
As Simon, you whip around, this hand grabs onto your back. The nails, like a claw, pierces your skin. You take 1 damage. And as you whip around, you hear and feel your jacket rip, as perhaps the leather jacket provided some kind of protection. You feel yourself bleeding though in your back.
I still will try to pull away from him.
Yeah, as you do, you push against the door. It feels like there's someone on the opposite side of the door pushing against you. Okay, that's the antagonists. No one spent cunning. Great. It's your all's turn. You guys decide when you go.
I'm going to I'm going to take that moment to take a step back from the door, and as I do, pull the door with me, and then go forward with it back into whoever may be behind it.
What do you bid to do it?
I'm going to bid my background, I'm going to bid my period of life hardened. I've done this stuff before. I've had to kick doors open, so I know how to do it.
Yep. Go ahead and throw down. Getting a lot of throwdowns this game.
That'll be.
I'm gonna get you some water next round.
It's my sinuses. I can't.
Oh, it's all good.
And I got absolutely no successes on that one.
You can do some breath. You can do ninja gear, remember? And since this is your next turn, and people can aid you. You could bid Mariah to aid you too. Simon.
8. Okay, there's one success.
You are at limbo right now.
Let's see. If I bid, no, I don't think that makes sense though. I'm going to bid lockpick. I don't know how I'm trying to make it make sense in my head real quick though. Because in some doors, when you're having to pick the lock, you have to jiggle the handle just right and apply force one way or the other.
Yeah, you give it a quick burst. The 1-inch punch for doors.
Yeah. Okay. Another one. That's 4 ones and I got one success.
All right, 1 is limbo. As you hear, this door, it's a pretty heavy door, so roll a d4 plus 1 for damage for the door. And it will be halved since it's limbo.
4.
Nice. So that's 2 damage. You hear, and someone fall down on the other side. As the door swings open and hits a foot, you whip around. You got your gun out, maybe trained on the person who fell, and then perhaps back up at Marcus. And then back, you see the door, or the motel clerk, the old man. Did we give him a name? I have one written down.
Yeah, we gave him a name.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't remember what his name is, but he definitely had a name and a description that you went into.
Yeah, no, I forgot.
I
forgot what it was.
I didn't write that. Usually I write this stuff down, but
it's gone forever. It's gone forever.
It's
right
gone.
Now he's just Pally because he's Pal. Yeah, as you see the motel clerk fall down, his hat falls off. You know, he's got the crypt keeper hair. All right, still all your turns. and Simon too. This is all on you guys.
So
I would like to. Good.
So he was inside the room.
No, he's in the hallway. The doorway opened out into the hallway and then slammed in. Now, when you got to the door, it opened like a hotel room and opened into the room, like, not savages. But this is the thing. When you were trying to leave, it swung out into the hallway and was slamming back.
I would like to bid.
How does it do that? How does it do that, Simon? That's a good question, Simon. Make a sanity roll, Simon. Indeed, wouldn't this be? This is the thing. Out of all the things, it makes him feel, oh my God, it could be real. It's those door hinges are on the wrong side. I should have explained that better. That is my bad. Did everyone have it going out into the hallway, or did you have it going into the room?
I had it going into the room.
I thought he was stepping out of the hallway.
Yeah, the door was swinging awkwardly out into the hallway.
Sure.
I should have.
Most hotel rooms, I think they go in.
Yeah.
For some reason, because they're fire hazards. But I mean,
well, you don't want a bunch of doors coming out this way and ramming
exactly. You don't want to, and that's why they go in.
Yeah.
So it's like once you're in, you're stuck.
Right. Well, this one, it was literally swinging wide out into the hallway like a door clapper, and like wham, 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 like a haunted house. Oh, what'd you get? You need one success for door hinges. You can't get it.
I can't get it. There's 2 in 1.
Having a bad
All right, what are your flaws?
My flaws right now are calloused, stubborn, reach for, and night terror.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so good. I'm gonna bid calloused for you.
Okay.
Why is it that Simon is able to rationalize this?
Um,
Because this is pretty integral to your character of just being nah.
yeah.
So why is it?
This is a cheap hotel. So even though it's called the Love Inn. Of course, it's a cheap hotel. It's a rent by the hour. So that's
a little judgy.
The frame on this door is probably weak, and so just the force of the 3 men trying to plow through it has pushed it like the opposite way.
Yeah, and in fact, as you look, you see that there's chips and stuff. That's obviously what it is. Yeah. We're going to give you another flaw, so you won't take sanity damage because it's silly. But you'll get another flaw, and it'll either be called judgy or convinced or something along those lines. But you get to choose.
Okay.
It's not up to code. The building's not up to code. OSHA's going to have a field day with this.
Tony and Nord, it's still your turn.
Can I bid? I had it until I lost it. Oh yeah, there we go. Fake out and to activate jujitsu, so I can grab Mariah and tumble out the door because that's what you do.
As you already had a hold of her, and Simon has opened the door, you do exactly that. You do this rough and tumble. As you hear her go wee. And you land on the other side, kind of in the crouch position. You have her. She's oddly smiling. That was a lot of fucking fun. The smile, of course, starts to fade as she remembers then what's going on. She looks around at the dude on the floor. There's some anger that crosses Mariah's face. So she looks back up at you, Nord, and then maybe into the room. She says, "What's going on with my dad?"
I think he's sick. We should
we have
give
to
him
help
some
him.
space. We will. We're totally going to help him.
That's why we're here.
We'll go to the doctor's office and tell them what the symptoms are.
Well, you get to
I don't
bid
think we should.
to lie. Actually, you just throw down to lie, or bid. It's up to you. Bid or throw down. Tony, what are you doing? You see Nord leap out of the room, and somehow with Mariah somehow doing some tumbling, and they're okay. Maybe some rug burns.
Is he still in there?
No, you're the only one in the room with Marcus. As Tony does the duck lips. Like
I say, what's your deal?
he turns to you. He's like 5-6 feet away from you, right at the bed. As his eyes flicker up, bloodshot again, drool just pouring out of his mouth. As he opens his mouth, you see like almost like zombified teeth. As he goes, "Come here, I'll show you," and he starts walking forward to grab you. It's still your turn.
And I reach in and pull out my work issued billy club.
You do. What do you do with it?
I tell him to stop.
He doesn't seem like
I
he's
hit him.
going to. Okay.
I swing.
What do you bet? As you channel Leah and you hit this guy in the face.
I bid. I'm gonna bid. I think. Can I bid Vestige of the Godhead?
I mean, it sounds really cool. Yeah. You bid you bid Vestige of the Godhead to club this guy. I need to know how it applies. I think it's awesome, but how does that apply to this action?
Hold on just a second. Oh.
I think you got catted.
Like, subscribe, and share. Share.
Subscribe. Yeah, we got 91 followers. We're looking for 100 followers on Twitch. So if you're watching us, follow us. Get us to 100. 100. That's what we're looking for. Was it a cat? No, it was a... Oh, you're getting the book.
I'm getting the book, just to be clear, right?
The book.
The book that everyone
book.
should read.
Should have.
And buy.
You know, it's,
so this
it's a good book.
So this is an ability that is in the book.
Yeah.
This is one of those.
It's under mysticism, I believe.
If we were really on point and at the top of our game, we would have all of our abilities known and memorized.
Yeah, the books are already out.
One of the things I love.
Go on.
This is from the time that Tony was studying to be a priest, and I always found it kind of odd that our Lord and Savior, just somewhere in the Gospels, just overturned a bunch of tables and got really, really angry. It was righteous anger, right?
That's right.
He did it. And it just kind of goes against everything, but it's still kind of there, right? So maybe he had a little of that righteous anger in him. So maybe it's okay if Tony does as well, even after Tony quit.
Yeah. As the righteous anger fills you, Tony, you feel powerful. You hear the call of the border guard, raising high your billy club, giving this guy the good news. Go ahead and throw down.
All right.
The threshold is 2. For anyone that is wondering, Vestige of the Godhead says some shamans are gifted with the power of presence that can move the hearts of Zens. The merry sound of their speech carries a boom and booms as though an echo of the god's power courses through their voices. In moments of truth, and when their gods lend them the power, these chosen exhibit the vestige of the godhead, and are even able to speak with beings of power, with far greater brilliance of soul than their own, without exploding.
That's all good and all, but I only got one success.
Yep. As you see Tony go, oh, and whiff really hard in front of this guy. We'll say it clips his nose as his nose just explodes in blood, but he seems unfazed by it.
I leave.
Tony, as you turn around and start to walk out, yes, yes, that is, it's awesome. That's awesome. How do you do it? How do you do it? Do it again. No, that's amazing. There it is. It always happens for you. You're muted, by the way.
I know. Well, I was just laughing.
How does this happen? It's
I
amazing.
don't know.
Well, it was
I'm good at
perfect.
gestures.
That has occurred.
It was perfectly
Yeah.
timed.
Wait a second, maybe do you have like Discord Premium or anything?
No,
No.
He, and it only works for him. But he
Yeah,
gets
only I
balloons
get-
and everything.
I get thumbs up. I get balloons. I mean, I get all the gestures.
Yeah.
It's a setting. I have a setting on, and
I wonder if it's that you're always the first one in, and maybe
like
since
I'm the host.
I think you're the host, I think that's what it is. I don't know.
The
If
hostess
anybody
with the
knows in the
mostess.
chat, let us know. We have another viewer. Hello. Sorry, we just got excited that
We are clearly not.
Nord got confetti. God, every time it's amazing. Anyway, Tony, as you turn around and leave, as you're walking out the door, it's pretty easy. The door's open. Okay. World action. The door is open. You guys are out there. You hear a thunderous voice, almost a growl coming from the room, as you see all the lights in the hallway are Andrea. All the lights in the hallway start to flicker. The ones that are out, of course, are of course out. The ones right above this room flicker. Boop, 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 as you hear dun, 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 on all of the doors, on all of these rooms, and suddenly there's the feeling of how many people are in this motel. Next to you, Simon, you're out in the hallway. You see the pally clerk kind of like rolling around on the ground. He's been concussed. Next to you, one of the doors splits as you hear from inside this room where Marcus is. Tony, you've just left. Nord, you can see over Tony's shoulder as you're crouched down in the hallway. Marcus moves with blinding speed, staccato movements like an insect, up to the door, clamping on both sides. As his hands clamp down, you see the wood splinter, burst out as all the lights in the hallway go out. There's still some ambient light from outside, but you can just see silhouettes and the fear of knowing what's in front of you as doors start splintering all around you. It is the bad guy's turn. Does anyone spend cunning?
I am going to spend cunning.
Yeah, me too.
Tony, do you spend cunning?
Well, I guess Three's Company. Yeah, me too.
And can Mariah spend cunning as well?
No, someone can spend a cunning to activate an NPC and have them act in the cunning round. So anyone can do it, but you have to spend a cunning for the NPCs, or you can just pick her up in like a tote bag and run. Okay, we'll pause here on the cunning round. Let's take a short break. Let's get some water, use the bathroom, etc. We're going to pop back over to Leah. And then resolve that however it resolves. And then we'll pop back to you guys.